Hey guys, I just want to start out by saying thank you to everyone who is praying for me, who's supporting me, and thank you to everyone who sent me Christmas cards so far. My mom and Tori, for those of you who don't know, they made a status on Facebook saying that it would cheer me up if you were able to send me a Christmas card at the hospital. And I don't know if you can see, but back there on my door, they're all hung up. I just started receiving them today. A class of second graders, they all made me a card, and just thank you. It just really means a lot to me, and yeah. And thank you to my mom and Tori who came up with the idea and thinking of me. And I really just want to go in depth and thank Tori for everything she does for me when I'm here. She bought me this cool, ugly Christmas sweater, books. She would do anything for me, and I get emotional when I think about it and just how much she's done for me. So thank you, Tori. Okay, speaking of Tori, she wanted me to make a video and talk about CF and what it is. So she sent me a list of questions and I typed them up, but hopefully I won't have to look at it too often, but sorry if I do. Okay, also thanks to Tori for buying me the tripod that my camera now sits on beautifully, and the lighting, the selfie ring light to go with it. If I stop abruptly, someone has walked in. People walk in that door all day. Okay. Anywho, so CF stands for cystic fibrosis, and it's a genetic chronic disease. And pretty much, it causes an overload of thick, sticky mucus to accumulate in the organs, which lungs and pancreas. That's what mainly affects me. So the next question leading into that is, how does it impact your body? So for me, growing up, I was considered to be healthy because my lung function was pretty good, and I had more trouble with digesting my food. So I just had bad stomach aches. I had to take 5 pills every time before I eat, but other than that, it was controlled. And then my junior year of high school, I developed cystic fibrosis related diabetes, and it's like a combination of type 1 and type 2. I have an insulin pump, I check my sugars every time before I eat, that whole thing. So that's how it impacts my body. Now, every person with CF, it impacts them differently. I don't really think any case is exactly the same. So something that may affect me could be worse for someone else, or they could not even have it at all. Okay. When did it start affecting me? Well, like I said, growing up, I just had bad stomach aches and stuff like that, and I had to take pills every time before I ate, but I think at 18 years old, I had my first hospital admission. Maybe it was 18 or 19. I got hospitalized for the first time for 2 weeks. I was diagnosed with it when I was 8 months old. I think they do newborn screening for it now. I'm not sure on that. And I think the life expectancy was only 15 or 16 years old when I was first born. So we've come a very long way. Is there a cure? There is not a cure. But you know, the CF Foundation and other organizations are working really hard to find one, and they're coming out with amazing new drugs that are helping reduce symptoms. I don't qualify for those yet, but it's coming. So what does a normal day look like in the hospital? So every other day, I get woken up around 5 or 6 for a blood draw from lab because they're checking my kidney function levels to see if the antibiotic is damaging my kidneys, which recently it has, so I was hooked to fluids 24/7, but my levels are back down now, so I'm off of it, which is great. So it starts out with like 5 or 6 a.m. I usually start getting up around 9 or hopefully 10 if they let me sleep to start my first breathing treatment. Around noon or 1, my second, 5 or 6, my third, and then 8 or 9 is my 4th breathing treatment of the day. And I put on this vest and I shake, and it helps to get the mucus out of my lungs. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. you know, in between that time, I like to do my makeup. I get visitors sometimes. I'll walk around, I'll read, I'll watch Netflix, just anything to keep your mind off of being in the hospital. So how often do you have to stay in the hospital? Well, recently it's been about every 3 or 4 months for the past 2 years, and usually around 2 weeks each time. This time I'm in for 4 weeks because I started the antibiotic later into my tune-up, so I need to be on this antibiotic for 3 weeks, and they need to monitor my progress with it to see if it's working, and to make sure I'm completely better before Christmas. How many meds do I take a day? Well, like I said, it's 5 every time before I eat, but then with all the antibiotics and stuff, I think I wrote down it's about 30 pills a day, I'd say. And then I receive 2 IV antibiotics through my PICC line. And so yes, it's the last question. So how do you remain positive during long hospital stays? So this is something I've really struggled with in the past, like last year, or I was just really down all the time when I was in here. I was a grouch, I was horrible to be around, and this year I think I've worked harder to be more positive about it. I'm here to get better. I try to get anything possible so I can keep my mind off of actually being here. I love reading, I love doing my makeup, I love when I have visitors, you know. When you're having a bad day, you deserve to let yourself have a bad day. You know, you can cry it out in fear and frustration, and you've got to let yourself feel that way you can get over it. And you know, every day is a new day here, so don't take the bad energy from yesterday's moment and carry it over. You know, you got to move on, you got to move past it, and I'm still learning to do that. I mean, yesterday I guess was a bad day for me. You know, family members called me and they could tell I was in a bad mood, and you know, I guess if you're from a caregiver side, like a friend or a parent, you just got to be patient with the person in here and just try to have compassion for us and understand that we will have bad days, especially when you're in here for 4 weeks. It can get a bit overwhelming to think about, but just surround yourself with people who bring you up, and that's what I've been doing. It's been okay so far. It's a little over 2 weeks for me, so got 2 more, and at the end of this admission, I will also be getting a port, so I don't have to get a PICC line anymore, which is really exciting. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video.